We've qualified for the World Cup. Go and compete.
Well, Happy New Year, I guess.
United are finished.
Good night and God.
Right. That's it, yeah.
See you in
That's the
2023.
podcast. Yeah, that's the PUPcast for 2022. We've just summary. Don't listen to anything else.
It's amazing they've all turned on Ragnick already.
Yeah. It's the grass isn't as green as they thought it would be on the other side because they were winning the league with this fella joining.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
didn't work
the
out.
happy days are back again.
Look, is it that much of a surprise that a manager we had never heard of before isn't that good? Like,
I didn't realize it's like, is it like 10 years that he's managed? It's like his first management role in like 10 years that hasn't been like an advisor role or something like that.
I think so.
That's
yeah.
a bit mad. That's a bit mad. That wasn't in the
Yeah.
T's and C's.
Wasn't he manager of Schalke when
Mm.
United beat them and Ferguson went onto the pitch to shake Neuer's hand?
Yeah. Yeah, and that handshake was apparently supposed to like try and entice Neuer.
I don't know why I
To
remember
United.
that so clearly. I was like, he's trying to sign Neuer by just going onto the pitch and shaking his hand and looking him up and down and be like, geez, you're a big lad. And Neuer just walked on.
Neuer had like signed that contract with Bayern like 6 months previous. So I was just like, this
Mhm.
fucking guy.
Mhm.
Can't even understand him.
It's like, who is this person?
yeah. It's the United are 9 points worse off this season at the same amount of games played and stuff.
and they had a bad start to last season as well.
Mm. And they threw money into the wind this year.
Hmm.
Bruno and Ronaldo, like fucking civil war. It's all gone belly up. They're two prize players, can't stand each other.
Who's Iron Man?
Bruno.
I actually haven't seen United play, but I've seen them a bit, but people are just saying like they look like they just don't care. They don't look like they know what they're doing. I mean, can you give me a brief rundown of why they're so bad?
They want out. They want out.
They all just want out.
They all want out. Every single one of them. And the ones who want to stay have not progressed in 5 years, like fucking Rashford.
Yeah, Harry Maguire is going around like he's, I don't know. He's got this look like Ronaldo walked into the showers and Maguire was like, "Oh fuck,
Yeah.
look at his dick! Like he is so much
Wow.
better than me." And it's just that is playing on his mind more even than the football stuff. He just has a look of like a defeated man, and he's the captain. What's that about? How do they not have a better player for captain than Harry Maguire?
It's rotten to the core. Any other club would be ashamed to have their captain as a convict and a criminal.
Yeah.
We're
And the way people believe that story as well is fucking gas.
Do you know what I mean? Like, in fairness, a lot of other clubs have big names, captains that they've stripped from captaincy for a lot less.
Yeah.
So I thought that, it's one of the many, many rotten pieces of carcass that is Man United right now. There's so many. Any layer you want to look into right now of like, where's it going wrong? It's every single one of them, top to bottom, in the middle, Ronaldo, and the rest. Yeah. Finished.
Ronaldo is at the wheel and he's after flying the fucking plane into a mountain.
Where does he want to go again next season? Did I see like Madrid or something random?
Yeah, back to Real apparently. Which, I mean, who knows?
Oh,
Who knows?
Barca is what I actually meant to say. Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's hard to believe anything. I mean, especially after the Lukaku stuff, a lot of things are misplaced and misspoken, and they're obviously out there to bait people. But it would be, catastrophic failure if Ronaldo only spends one season at United and runs away because it was that bad.
It's impressive how quickly he just saw there was no hope, no future, there was nothing worth playing for, that he hated life there, that it was a bad team, bad atmosphere, bad players, bad management. And he was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Imagine a project
Because
being
what's so
too
different
much.
from this? What's so different from last season to this season? That's what's kind of so weird, because they were second last season, right?
It's
And
Ole. It's Ole.
the well, okay. I mean, the only big difference I could see is Ronaldo. I know that they have Sancho in and a couple of others, but it seems like Ronaldo is the factor.
Ronaldo is the factor. Yeah. He's the poison. Yeah.
Well, they fucking screwed the pooch on that.
And sure, all their young players who were supposed to carry them into the future look like League One players now. Greenwood, people hyping him up to the moon, saying he's going to be the next Saka. How'd that work out?
But it's just so poorly done. Do you know, they obviously needed a lot of signings last season. The gaps were there. It was obvious where they were weak, and like Sancho made sense, I suppose, because they needed like a winger. But then to buy Ronaldo has just thrown every like bit of plan out the window, really. And they still haven't strengthened in the one place that was embarrassing for years, which is like defense. They still have Harry Maguire tripping over himself. Fucking Phil Jones is playing football again. That's bad.
It's incredible. It's incredible. This fella risen from the grave. Like,
do you remember his meal plan? Do you remember that image of like what all the players ate?
Yeah.
His was just like, I'll have all the mashed potatoes, please.
All the carbs.
I mean,
sorry. Well, I was just going to say, they did sign Varane, but I suppose we kind of all knew that wouldn't solve everything. And his injury record and everything, I mean, it's just, there's no surprise really, is it?
One thing with Varane too, as well, we were obviously, skeptical of that transfer. His last like big game prior to signing that probably we can remember is when Real were humbled by Man City in the COVID Champions League. Do you remember after the season, and at City's home game, they just run rings around. Like Sterling, like had him on the floor multiple times.
Yeah, he's not a player.
Jesus,
he's not a player.
He's not a player. The player I feel bad for, the only player I feel bad for in all this is Cavani, because Cavani is a top player. He is a great striker, and to see him waste his golden years in this mess makes my heart ache. As a fan of football and as a fan just of the human spirit, seeing it at its best, seeing Cavani in this, it's sick.
It's crimes against humanity, really. It all boils down to that. Like they need to have a trial. They need to have the Manchester trials and sort this out.
Yeah, I mean, justice for Cavani. Like, Jesus, one of the finest strikers of this generation.
Is Cavani linked to Arsenal or something? What's going on? What's going on? What are you talking about?
Well, I'm speaking truth here, like.
Right.
Do you not think Cavani is one of the best strikers of his generation?
What's a generation exactly?
Say it'll pass 10 years.
I could probably think of 10 better. So
name 10 better.
Oh my god! All right, Lewandowski.
Fine.
Suarez.
Okay.
Can I count Messi?
Okay, fine. We'll allow you to count Messi and Ronaldo if you must.
And Ronaldo. Mohamed Salah.
I mean, I could see an argument for Salah.
Yeah.
So what's that, 5?
Harry Kane.
No.
Aubameyang.
Okay.
Okay, you'll allow Aubameyang.
Martinelli.
Danny Welbeck. Eddie and Kev, yeah.
I don't know. You'd have to give me some time. Ibrahimovic was better.
Okay, so what's that, 7?
Help me out, Kieran. Come on, think of a few more strikers.
Aguero.
Okay.
Oh, Aguero, yeah.
Yeah.
Rooney.
No.
You can't say Rooney wasn't better
He
than
peaked.
this fucking.
He peaked long before 10 years ago. Like, he peaked in like 2008.
He was
Diego
still there.
Costa.
No.
I would say Diego Costa is better than Cavani. Yeah.
No. 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 No.
No. Flynn's gonna be having nightmares about this. Benzema.
Meh. It's borderline. Like 9. Name one
Neymar.
more.
I just can't even think of a single team right now that I'm under pressure. Give me a second. Who else wins a load of stuff?
Oh, Glenn Murray. two championship seasons with 30+ goals. Cavani. Can you do that?
Yeah, like I just think Cavani. I mean, he just kind of wasted his career at PSG, really, didn't he? I mean, he just won a load of League Ones. He won. Cut that. Take again.
No.
He just won a load of League Ones. I mean, he hasn't fucking won the Champions League or anything.
It's like Messi, just in the wasteland of PSG now. Just ruined his career.
Sure, Zlatan didn't win Champions League.
Maybe he didn't. Well, he won everything else. In fairness, I mean, he went everywhere. That's the point. He only went to France when he was dying down.
He's still going too.
He's
Mad to
Yeah.
think
he's still knocking him in Italy.
still playing.
It's
Mbappe
funny,
is better
yeah.
than Cavani. There we go.
No.
Got one. No. Fuck's sake.
No.
I don't want to hear Mbappe mentioned in the same breath as El Matador.
Why do you like Cavani so much?
Why do I like him? Like, he's just a great player.
Okay. I mean, there's a lot of great players, but
But none few like Cavani.
it's
Maybe
the integrity.
10 plus. There's possibly 10 to 15 players in his position in the past few years who'll be better. He will go down in history
He's
as
generational.
Edinson Cavani. He will go down as the third best Uruguayan striker of the past 15 years.
Yeah,
Generation
that's fair.
Ed.
That will be on his that's what his gravestone will read. Third best
It's like-
Uruguayan striker of the past 15 years.
He also put up a big racist post, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
He did,
Yeah, like a year ago.
What did he say?
I don't think we can repeat it, but
the Spanish word for black, the color
About who?
black. His assist was it like his? I don't know.
I think he actually shared a post, so I don't think he wrote it, was the impression I got. It was like he was tagged in something with that word and he shared it.
Mm.
But I love how people were quick to say, well, that's the word for black in his country, but then when Suarez said it, it was unacceptable.
It's agendas, Adrian.
Suarez clearly meant it in an insulting way.
Sure, you don't know. You couldn't hear. You weren't there.
I saw it with 15 different camera angles. More reliable than memory.
That's true. Yeah. First, what's that thing that they're saying, like first person? Oh, what's the word? An eyewitness is like only 60% reliable or something.
Oh, yeah.
'cause they fucking can't remember what they've seen.
That you couldn't remember something like fucking an hour ago. Most people like,
Yeah.
oh, I was playing. Did you ever play Sporkle quizzes?
Yeah.
For some reason, a few of us were on Zoom and we were playing Sporkle quizzes, and one of the categories we did was like Ireland's presidents. Can you name all of Ireland's presidents? And we did shocking. Like we couldn't name the first Irish president, and we were like, "Fuck! Can't believe we didn't know that." Well, we'll never forget it. We'll remember that now going forward. We played another quiz about 5 minutes later, just about Ireland, general facts, trivia about Ireland. And one of the questions was Ireland's first president. And there was about fucking 7 or 8 of us playing it, and none of us could remember the name that we had just heard 5 minutes previously.
It was Eamon De Valera, wasn't it?
No.
What?
Yeah, I know. He wasn't even the second.
Who was it?
It was Douglas Hyde.
Oh,
Oh.
the hider.
Now, I should ask you again in 5 minutes.
You too, yeah.
Just remember the hider. The Hyde.
Hyde Park, right?
That's it.
There we go. Oh, I'll definitely remember that.
Okay. He's
Here's the
We'll
test.
see.
I would say he's one of the top 10 presidents in Irish history.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's been some crackers.
I think there's only been like 9.
Unforgettable.
And 2 women, right?
Yeah,
Both
bonkers.
Marys, are they?
2 Marys, yeah.
Yeah, that's Ireland for you.
Yeah. Always thinking ahead.
Jeez, yeah. Do you have any New Year's resolutions? Do you believe in New Year's resolutions?
I don't, but there was one night when I could feel the presence of a New Year's resolution.
What did it say to you?
It says you're getting pretty fucking fat, Connor.
Cut down the sugar and white bread.
I'm
Yeah.
at my fattest ever at the moment.
Oh yeah. I think
Relationships will do that to you. That's what
Yeah.
it is. You get comfy.
yeah.
I've
You got-
literally been eating bars of chocolate and takeaways for like the past 3 days, staying in a small apartment, just like not moving, not going anywhere.
Yeah, that soon becomes just life. You know?
Well, sign me up.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's not a bad thing. I mean, medically, yes. You're on a rocky road. But takeaways are nice.
Takeaways are nice.
Chinese, right? Chinese is top tier takeaway.
I disagree, actually. I usually don't like Chinese takeaways at all, to be honest. I think they, the way most people, not most people, but you'd often hear people be like, if you felt sick the night after a night out, they'd be like, where'd you go for eat? And you'd say like some Chinese takeaway. They'd be like, well, of course you got sick, you went there. It's like Chinese takeaways are rated about whether or not they give you the fucking runs the next day. Like, I don't want to go to these places where like it's 50-50. Am I going to get food poisoning? And the food usually is just fucking stuff that's been sitting in tubs for 12 hours, and then they chuck it in the microwave and pour over some sweet and sour sauce from a jar or something. Not even a jar, probably out of a unlabeled box. About 20 kilos of it. Straight from fucking Amsterdam or something. Like, most Chinese food I have, even like people go on about spice bags. People go on about how much they love spice bags. Oh, what an Irish institution. I'd never heard of a spice bag until about 10 years ago, and they're not that nice. They're just like they're runoffs, and like they're the scum that comes off all the other dishes that gets left like down on the floor. Probably someone sweeps them up and throws them into a bag. Says there's a spice bag. That'll be fucking €5 or something. And the chicken balls, fucking the batter. I don't know what's in the batter they put in a lot of these chicken balls, but it tastes like the inside of someone's shoe. I don't like them. I don't like Chinese takeaways in general. There are good ones, but there's good ones of everything. So I don't use that as a positive. Like, in general, the only takeaway that I like, that I think that is like a takeaway that when I get it is as good as if I went out somewhere and ate, is pizza. And actually, that's it. Pizza is the only thing that I think is as good when you get it delivered or takeaway as if you went out and sat down and got something or made it yourself.
I like Chinese, and I disagree on the pizza.
Well, I like Chinese. So,
Next topic.
so scrap all that.
Every dish tastes the fucking same from Chinese places as well. They have like 200 things on the menu: black bean chicken, black bean, fucking sweet and sour lamb. You get it? It's the same fucking thing. The sauces and the meat, they all taste the same, and the rice is the same. I don't like it.
I'm kind of in between the two of you. I do think Chinese is garbage, and I think like even the chicken they use is very questionable. I don't mean I think it's cats, but it's always like fucking like ligamenty, bitty chicken. But I do think what I like about Chinese, and which is also its downfall, is the variety, because you can get like 5 different things, because like you can get chicken balls, class. You can get like the shredded chicken, class. You can get 3-in-1, class. You get like a fried rice dish, chow mein, and they're all, to me, very different. So I think that's the problem, is that when someone's like, we'll get Chinese, I'm like, all right, I'll probably just get like 3 starters instead of a main. And then it's too much. And then I've spent like €20 instead of just getting like fried rice for €5 or something, you know?
Chinese is also the only like takeaway thing that I feel I could make something better than that for really low effort and really cheap. Like, I don't think that about burgers, because a lot of burger places, I could make a nice burger, but it'd take a while and I'd get my hands all messy, and it would only be as good at its best. It would only be as good as a good takeaway burger or something. Whereas a fucking Chinese, I can make fried rice in 10 minutes and it's better than any fried rice I'll buy. I can make fucking shredded chicken or something in 10-15 minutes and it's miles better than any Chinese I'll buy. Whereas like I can make a pizza in 15 minutes that's going to be as good as a takeaway pizza, or I can make a kebab that's going to be as good as a takeaway kebab. Like they all have they have a reason for me to go there. Chinese, it's like fucking stuff I can make in 10 minutes flat and it'll be better. So there's no reason for me to ever want to get Chinese.
Based on that, what I would say is burritos are hard to knock, because I couldn't possibly make a decent burrito. Like, I could probably make everything that goes in it, but even to do the wrapping and stuff, it's a certain skill. So getting a good burrito is top tier to me.
I don't know. I think you could do the wrapping easy enough. It's just a lot of the ingredients, they'd have like pickled onions or something, which you wouldn't have a lot of, or like fucking guacamole you probably wouldn't have in the fridge and all this, which is really nice. I love burritos, but yeah, a lot of the stuff I like in burritos I wouldn't normally have in the fridge at home.
See, I agree with the whole you can make things better, especially with Chinese. I do. I think you can make a better pizza from home. I think there's so much accessibility now for like pizza bases. I'm not saying you need to like knead dough and roll it out and all that shit, but you can get the kind of pre-made bases now, and you're not tied to set choices where you're like, oh, I won't get that extra topping because it suddenly becomes €4 extra just to have like sweet corn.
I hate sweet corn on pizza.
But like Domino's and 4-star, I think are absolutely trash.
Yeah, in many ways, but like I make a lot of pizza at home. I know I just went on about how pizza is one thing where it's better to not make it, but I make a lot of pizza at home, both making the dough and on pre-made bases. And the thing that is really hard to replicate at home is the getting crisp, like kind of black burn bits underneath while still being kind of not like a cracker. It's like still got a bit of chew or a bit of doughiness in it. That's really hard to do at home, but if you have like a proper pizza oven, fucking great. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. I found that the best way to do pizza at home is in a cast iron pan. If anyone wants to try. That's just my take after making about 50 pizzas at home for the past couple of years. The cast iron is the way to go.
Yeah, I don't usually use the pan. I'd use the oven, but I'd put the base in early and give it an extra few minutes before you put the sauce and the rest on.
It makes sense.
That's how I get me crisp.
I mean, I've had some I've made some bad pizzas at home, some real shocking ones. Like,
yeah, like anytime we do pizza, it's just to give ourselves something to do for an evening.
Honestly,
like-
it's fun. It's fun making pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it is.
it's never as good as even a Domino's because we just don't have the practice. It's always like soggy in the middle. We always don't put on the right amount of stuff. It's like I should have just gone to Domino's and gotten a pizza meal, a fucking massive meal for like €20. So I can't justify making a pizza just for the sake of having dinner, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was just going on about how like Chinese, I hate buying it because I feel like I could make it myself for a few euro, but pizza is just incredibly cheap, base level like cost of to produce like dough, cheese, and tomato sauce. The whole cost of that is probably less than €1 if you're making in bulk. It's less than €1 to make a whole pizza, like the dough, water, flour, salt, yeast, tomato sauce, and some shredded cheese.
But you know, I don't, and I'm not saying you're doing this, but I hate when people are like, "Sure, I could have gotten this at home for €2 or something." You know, you can say that about anything, like a chicken roll. Obviously, if you buy the ingredients of a chicken roll, you'll probably have it for about €1 or €2 or something, and you're paying like 5 in a store for it. But the whole point is that you don't have to do that. It's convenience, you know? Like, I could absolutely learn how to make a pizza and probably crack out 20 pizzas for the week for under a tenner, right? But what the fuck is the point in that? There's no convenience to that. Whereas I wait till I want a pizza, I pay €10 for a pizza, I get a pizza.
It's the basis of business.
Yeah,
it's true.
exactly.
It's
But
almost as if someone has thought of this.
Someone
Yeah,
thought of
like-
this 10,000 years ago.
I just hate it when people are like, "Oh, sure, this isn't worth it. I could do this at home for €3." It's like, well, go fucking do it then. Yeah, don't ever get chips again. Just make 1,000,000 chips at home for the year and freeze them, and you're set. Dickheads. Anyway, sorry.
I like making chips at home too. Deep fat fryer.
Do you have a
we-
deep fat fryer?
Yeah.
We don't have one.
Proper like
Yeah.
oil. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's all right.
Yeah, they'll do
That's
it.
all right. Working class country farmers utensil.
It is.
Yeah.
It is,
Go to
yeah.
fucking any
Oh,
fucking house.
I'm serious. It
We're
is.
Are
not
you-
being sarcastic. Yeah. My parents have one as well, but like I'll probably never in my life buy a deep fat fryer. I don't know where I'd put a deep fat fryer.
They're great. They're very good.
Yeah.
And people
I just
say
think
air fryers. Oh, let's get an air fryer. It'll change your life. An air fryer is just a convection oven. You have one at home, it's just smaller. And anyone who tells you different doesn't understand the physics involved. But never mind.
we've already been scientific enough with what is part of a Chinese dish. We won't get into big and small ovens. It might blow people's minds.
I mean, I have no problem with air fryers. I've used air fryers. They're grand for what you want them. And they make more sense that honestly these days because traditional ovens were designed for families. Families of 10 fucking people eating food in a house. But like nowadays, the family unit is probably going to be a couple with one kid or two kids maybe. So, and it makes a lot more sense to have an oven like an air fryer rather than having a massive oven and spending a ton of electricity and power and money to heat up a fucking casserole, which takes up 10% of the oven. But anyway.
Yeah. And microwaves are pointless as well.
I
Just
don't know
wanna
about
say
that.
Yeah, no.
Mm.
What?
No use for a microwave.
What?
I'm
I
not,
disagree.
I'm not with you.
Defrosting alone makes the microwave worth it.
Yeah, but I mean, just so organization means you don't need to stick it in a microwave. You just take it out.
But it's back to the convenience, Kieran.
Yeah, but
Like
some things in
warming up a
life
cup of
aren't meant to
tea.
be. I drink my tea hot.
No,
Like-
well, you mean to tell me you never forgotten about your cup of tea and it gone a bit cold and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
Just
dash
warm
it
it
down
up.
the sink and make a new one because it would just curdle the milk, right?
no.
Look, I mean, I've never had Baileys in my tea either, so I mean, I
Oh,
can't.
I've been drinking Baileys and tea for the past few days. What a treat.
It is a real
Jeez, you've-
treat.
You've lived a life the past few days.
This is
Takeaways.
the life of
chocolate
fucking
bars.
being a close contact.
I mean, yeah. Who isn't these days anyway?
Yeah.
It's gone mad.
Mhm.
Does anyone have any like topics perhaps that weren't covered? Like I've got a few like in a list if we need things to chat about, but do you guys have any?
Nope.
I don't really.
Cool.
No.
I can spring some topics on us.
Yeah.
Arsenal were fucking robbed against Man
I'm-
City. They were destroying Man City. They should have won that game. Fuck it. It's done. It's finished. But next time, Pep, you and your fucking anyway.
Yeah, can I just say as well? I think obviously there was some very, very bad decisions in that, and Arsenal were on the short end of that. But Arsenal got fined for not being able to control their players, which you could say, okay, fine, perhaps it's justified, perhaps not. Like the only teams that have been fined this year have been Arsenal, Villa, Leeds, Palace for excessively, I don't know, arguing the ref and whatever. Is it just me who thinks that that's a bit fishy when you do see Liverpool? Well, maybe not so much Liverpool. United, definitely. Chelsea, definitely. Nearly every week. And City do it to refs when a decision doesn't go their way, like hounding the refs. And I found it very odd that they didn't make that list, not once. And we played like 20 games.
Yeah, absolutely. You're dead right.
Yeah.
There's a conspiracy against the good teams, against the teams with good hearts, against
Yes.
the teams who are trying to give the game back to the people from whom it was stolen by the likes of Chelsea, City, Spurs. Who else don't I like?
Millwall.
PSG, Bayern Munich, Forest Green.
Yeah. Fuck you and your vegan pies.
Nah.
Yeah. So there's just a bit interesting. Yeah, because the Palace one was the Vieira after the match thing as well, which again, it's like not the first. I mean, he probably shouldn't have done it, but like again, Vieira's got a heart of gold. What he wanted.
does.
He didn't want an argument.
He
wanted transparency for the good of football, not just that match, not for the Premier League, for the global football. He wanted answers.
I will say I don't know what the rules are, and I'm saying this as a Liverpool supporter because Klopp recently went up to a ref and said, "I don't have a problem with refs. I have a problem with you." And like berated him and said, "I don't know what your issue is. I don't know why you fucking." I can't even remember what the decision was, but it's like, how can you say that? But then you can't go out and say, "I didn't think he performed well," the ref, and then get fined, or I just don't know what the rule is. I don't know where the line is. But I guess your point is there is no line, or the line is different for everyone.
Yeah, that's it, and it's the same as the rules for COVID postponements too. There's no transparency on that, and like people, I mean, I think nearly every team now, apart from Chelsea and City, ironically, haven't had games postponed or league games postponed because of it. But very, very conflicting reasons for cancellations. Like some, it's like double-digit multiple COVID cases. Others, there is COVID, but it's added to the other injuries. Yeah, I don't know if that sits fairly with me.
Like Flynn, would you have preferred that semi-final there the other day to go ahead?
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah.
Yes, come on. Like, didn't Villa have to play their fucking under 10s against Liverpool recently in a cup game?
Yeah, last
because
season.
of yeah. And now this year it's like, look, we've learned from our mistakes. It's like, well, Villa might not like that. Rightly so.
Did that happen? I thought it was the other way around.
Well, it both happened, but Liverpool did it by choice because of the Club World Cup.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Whereas Villa were fucked.
Yeah. I mean, but I say the rule is you have to have 13 players plus a goalkeeper eligible, isn't it? So it doesn't matter, like, if someone's injured, they're still ineligible or unavailable, right?
It's like the fines, really, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure it says it somewhere in the rule book, but there's no consistency in it. I think the one that really people off was the Newcastle one. Was it the game against Southampton, where the week previous Southampton were really badly hit by it, and Newcastle got Callum Wilson and Sam Maximan injured in one game, and then they were really pushing for it to be postponed, and they got it.
Mm.
You know, it's different when it's like your third choice keeper that gets COVID, and the only two players that you have that are half bit decent. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone hates Newcastle at the minute anyway, though, so fuck them.
We're gonna hate them more, aren't we? I mean, Kieran Trippier isn't exactly.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Like this is just the start.
But
it does kind of mirror the start of the City thing. Remember, City bought like Wayne Bridge and like Shay Given and all these kind of unremarkable above average players.
Yeah.
Like Kieran Trippier, a 31-year-old Kieran Trippier is not that amazing, but it's probably just enough to make him a bit better so that they can bring in better and better players in the next few seasons. If they don't go down, which I pray they do.
I'm honestly not too worried about Newcastle.
I mean, as an Arsenal fan, Flynn, you really should be.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Quaking in your boots.
I've just got a feeling. We'll come back to this in 5 years, but I don't see it going anywhere.
And I kind of agree, but I don't know. That kind of money, if it's allowed to do what they want it to do, that money is impossible to stop, really.
Who cares? We'll just ignore any achievements they have like we do with Man City. In my mind, Man City are like a non-entity. They're just like, if they win, all it means to me is United, Liverpool, Spurs didn't win. That's what it means to me. It doesn't mean that Man City won, because I don't think of them as a football club. They're just there. They're just this kind of blank space. I don't think of any of their achievements as legitimate. So it doesn't bother me at all.
It bothers me because if it wasn't for them, Liverpool would have won like 3 Premier Leagues.
Well, I think people will remember this era as the Liverpool era.
That's a good point.
I don't know. I think, I mean, judging by what other people are saying, they'll be looking at the team and saying, how did Liverpool not win more?
I don't know. I think it's a good. I think that's probably true. I think we will. I don't think the kids. I don't think the next generation will say, "Oh wow, how great Liverpool were now," because it will just be City, 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 Liverpool, City, 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 or whatever. But yeah, it's unlucky. But there's been lots of really good runners-up Premier League teams, unfortunately, that we don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if Newcastle turn into another City, it's like the end of football, really. Because I mean, football is barely hanging on by a thread now. If it wasn't for Liverpool, the last like 4 seasons would have just been pointless. It would just be City like 30 points ahead every season.
I think that City and PSG triggered rule changes and financial fair play and things like that. If this is legit, if we're going to see this much money promised as what it seems to be, I reckon the goalposts will change again. I reckon they will cap it somehow.
I just have no respect for the financial fair play thing, because like City were done for it and then it got overturned. And then I see that Everton are screwed because they're abiding by financial fair play. I'm thinking, like, why fucking bother? Look at City. And in fairness to City, they're not spending 100 million on players, but they're spending 50 million like 4 times in every position.
Well, they literally just spent 100 million on Jack Grealish.
Very, very good. That's one for a clip.
I'm riddled with COVID. That's my excuse. My brain isn't working properly. Yeah, it's just when you look at their squad, they just have 2 world-class players in every single position. Like, what do you do with that?
Riyad Mahrez ruined his legacy by going to City. If he had gone anywhere else, he would go down as maybe one of the best wingers in the history of the league, in the history of England. Now, what are people going to think when they think of Riyad Mahrez? He's the fella who played like 45 minutes every 2 weeks for Man City.
Mm.
I
Mr.
totally
Sub,
agree. Yeah. He like won Leicester the league. Him and Jamie Vardy won Leicester the league.
Yep.
Mm. He
And
should.
now he just doesn't even play.
I know they were gonna like want to try cash in on him, and rightly so. But like, if he stayed at Leicester, like he'd still be there, like talisman.
Or if he had gone to another club, if he had gone to like
Yeah.
Arsenal or Spurs or United, well, maybe not United, he would have a great career and he would have done amazing things. But what does he have to show for it now? Nothing.
And didn't he win Player of the Season?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I know. Also, this makes me think of Hulk, the Brazilian winger. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he's gone back to Brazil anyway, and he's playing great, and he's like been named Player of the Year or whatever in the fucking Brazilian league. And people were like, some people I was reading complaining about how, oh, he could have had a great career if he, hadn't gone to China. And people were like, no, he secured money. He got paid. Fair play to him. That's what it's all about. Get paid and secure your family's future or whatever. How can you judge him for that? Right, I can judge him for that because he was a fucking multi-millionaire at the age of 20 or whatever it was at Porto anyway. So the idea that, oh, he has to go there because he has to secure his family's future. His family was set for generations by the time he was 22. So I don't want to hear about, oh, fair play to him. He did what any one of us would have done. He fucking did not. If I was Hulk, I would not go waste my life playing in fucking China to be looked at as a joke or as a what if. I would have gone to fucking Real Madrid or someone and had a great career and done amazing things in a sport that I enjoy, rather than saying, well, I have 10 million. I could have, 50 million if I go to Madrid, but I could have 60 million if I go to China. I'm going to take the 60 million because that's all I care about is an extra few fucking pointless zeros of unimaginable wealth in my bank account that I couldn't spend on anything reasonable in my lifetime, in 10 lifetimes. So fuck them. I don't want to hear about people praising people who secured the bag, whatever. I hate that saying. Say, oh, fair play to them. You secured the bag. Fuck anyone who says that. I'm sick of it.
I totally agree. It's just laziness. I mean, the guy just knows he doesn't have to work, really. He just turns up to training, goes to matches. He's going to be the best player on the pitch by default. And he'll get, like you said, 60 million for it. So it's just pure laziness, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'd actually hate. I know it's changed now, hasn't it? Because like the tax rules and the wealth rules and all stuff have gone on their heads now, and a lot of non-Chinese players in the Super League have just dispersed because that's what they were there for, was to basically tax-free millions and millions that they could get. But you'd want to be fucking like sickened, wouldn't you, if you were like a Chinese football player? Because the reports were that like the Brazilian players or the European players that were coming over just did not show up. They played the games. They weren't training. They weren't bothered. They were just living a cushy life. And you have to go out there like basically probably working for essentially free to just field the other 10 players around Hulk. That must be a little bit degrading.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of managers did it too. Ruined my whole perception of them. Going over to fucking China and all these random places because they got paid millions instead of getting paid like 2 million in Europe. They got paid 3 million in China.
Clattenburg, what the fuck? Who needs to be a ref in Saudi Arabia? Get the fuck out.
That's one area where it's like fucking. I don't know how much referees make anyway. So if this fella is probably going to retire in a few years, I don't know how much a ref makes. Could he even live on what he's made as a referee? But if he wanted to go make $1 million, fine. But it's players who are already millionaires and are set for life anyway. So the idea of getting more money is just sick to me. Anyway,
I'm sure we actually Googled this before. I'm sure they earn like 100k, which is, I mean, that's a good wage. Like it's not a footballer's wage, but it's
100k a game.
No, a year.
Oh, sure. Yeah, fine.
I suppose it's across like they're basically doing like 40 games a year, like, aren't they?
and to get hate from every corner, to not be able to walk down the street.
Yeah, deserved though.
So
Fuck
actually,
that.
I
That's a
think,
shame.
and I don't know how old this article is, but this says up to £70,000 per year. So, yeah, I think they're paid like 40 grand plus like a grand a match on top of that, something like that.
Mm.
It's not amazing, like considering you still have to like train and everything, and like you said, you probably get the brunt of the abuse.
Yeah. Well, while we were, I know we moved a little bit away from it, but while we're shitting on City and clubs like that, did you see that Mendy is released on bail?
Yeah.
Yeah. So money talks, right? Was it like 7, 8 counts? Or accusations?
I think,
7, yeah. And to walk away. Curious.
I think the only reason people wouldn't be given bail is if it seems like they're gonna flee the country. Whereas he ain't going anywhere. So
And
yeah.
is it statutory rape or rape? It's just rape, isn't it? Are the charges?
I think so.
Man,
I think so.
that's so
Yeah.
fucked.
It is. And isn't it underage too? Some of them.
So it's both. It's statutory rape and just rape.
Is that what the difference is? Okay. Yeah, I believe so.
Statutory rape is like having sex with an underage
A
person.
minor. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah, but you remember like before that all came out, like out of nowhere, he got like a run of 2 or 3 games. I found that very well, poor taste is probably putting it lightly.
what do you say?
City or Pep being like, look, go on, sure, you ain't playing football again. May as well get a few games under your belt before you don't see the light of day for a while. Because why? Like they dropped like 2 fit left backs for him. He was like 3rd choice, 4th choice left back. I don't know.
There's a lot made about him in the City Amazon thing, actually, because it's the season they signed, I think, like him and Laporte or someone.
Mm-hmm.
They're on about big signings and they talk about him. Not a lot, but I wonder, are they going to have to like just get rid of that documentary? Chris Benoit him. Chris Benoit.
But do you remember as well that Sigurdsson has disappeared off the face of the planet? Apparently, he's been put into like protective housing back in Iceland.
So was he also done for rape?
No. I think it's just underage stuff again.
Because I remember there was talk of a suspected player rape case, and then it was leaked it was Sigurdsson, but then it was Mendy, so I thought Sigurdsson was just not.
Yeah,
but it's him as well, so they're all fucking doing it.
Yeah, and the missus left him, and he's still on the books at Everton, so it's all very dodge. Yeah, but it's that was like such like scandal, and it's been it's not been covered up, but it's been quiet. Apparently, there's like what do you call it? Like a gagging order. That basically he's paid for it to be a gagging order until it's all said and done. Probably better off for his own safety, to be honest. But yeah, it just really did just disappear, didn't it?
Yeah, and I know people are always like, "Oh, sure, these people just want money, and they'll settle it out of court, and that girl will get a few thousand, and she'll go on away, and that's all she wants." And it's like, not every footballer is being accused of rape, though. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like, if that was the case, every fucking footballer would be accused of rape, and they're just not. So, sorry.
What are though?
No. Not a proportionate amount for that idea, if you know what I mean. Like, wasn't it the same with those rugby lads? Remember the rugby lads, and people were like, sure, your one just wants a bit of money out of them. It's like, how much do rugby players fucking earn? Like, what, you know?
I know, yeah.
Pick like Pat Kenny instead if
But
you want money. Like,
That's
don't
that's always something the defense, when it's like a famous person in a case like this, their defense will always try to suggest that they're being accused because someone wants money. They'll always put that kind of story out there because people gravitate towards it. They're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. They're all like that, aren't they? Leave our precious whatever. I can't even remember his name. Was it Jackson? Paddy Jackson, was it?
Yes.
Leave our precious Paddy Jackson alone. He's a good boy. He's just out to be destroyed by people. I'm like, right. Is he?
Yeah.
To be honest, a lot of the biggest scumbags I knew in school were like fellas who would be playing GA. And they got so much protection over what they were at. Like they could do fucking anything. And you knew it on like the weekends. They go smashing up fucking town, smashing up windows or whatever. And there'd be you'd hear nothing about it because they have to fucking match on Tuesday or something.
Preach, man.
GA is like a cult in Ireland. It is. It's pure cult.
Yeah, I was reading something on it. It was on Reddit. It was actually online with that. Like, what are the cults that are in Ireland that, you know?
I was reading that too.
Yeah, but did you see the one where I think it was like it must have been a woman, but she was basically saying that like she kicked it in like the relationship of like 4 or 5 years because like your man was so dedicated to like this amateur sport that like she wanted to take a week break to like somewhere in Ireland for like a week to some hotel resort, and he was like, "Nah, I can't. I've been training on Wednesday.
Training, not even a match. Fucking training, like in an amateur sport, for when he's probably crazy. Fucking 35 or something, and I don't even know what the levels are in GA, but probably playing some like match where there'll be 5 people in the crowd watching it on the sidelines, like." And one of them will be like a fella who goes to every single match for the past 60 years and has never missed one in his whole life. And that's all he does. And he lives in an empty house.
Yeah. There were some funny ones in that thread too. Like the church came up, obviously. That's clearly one. That goes without saying. Trying to see if I can remember any of the other ones, but there was a few.
Someone was saying swimmers. People go swimming in the sea.
Oh, yeah. I did laugh at that one.
They've got the robes and everything.
Yeah, because I was just like, on the offset, I was like, there's something wrong with people swimming in the sea. But then you remember the people that you know that do it are like mad into it. It's like, I can't have a Sunday morning without dipping the toes in salt water. It's like, yeah, it's true.
I don't like swimming in the sea in Ireland unless it's a really hot day, and I just don't enjoy it. And I don't understand people who do enjoy it, because to me it's a cold, miserable, unenjoyable experience, and any high you get from it, like you get at home sipping a can of beer.
To kind of like build on that too, myself and Adrian live near the River Lee, and there won't be a day I don't go walking to like the Lee Fields or Fitzgerald Park and there's not some fucker swimming in the River Lee. No, it's like, have you seen it?
It's like it is like fucking self-flagellation. It's like religious orders who would punish themselves, put themselves through pain because they feel it brings them closer to God or whatever. It's very similar. It's the same mentality of, I'm going to do something really unpleasant, but it's going to give me a buzz because I'm like fucking masochistically hurting myself because this is, this is purifying my body or something. Leave it. I don't want to. Whatever. Look, leave them at it. Leave them at it. They're the least bothersome of all cult-like practices because I don't have to see them or hear them or come into contact with them unless I go to the beach when they're swimming. So, like, whatever. They're off in their own world in the water. They're off in the water. And waves come along and take them out to sea sometimes. And whatever. So... It's their own deal. I'm here on
Yeah.
land. I'm here on land. I'm living here in
Isn't-
land.
Isn't there a thing in some of the beaches? I think it's the same in Chidani, that there's parts of it that are really dangerous because there's like sinkholes. So even though it looks totally fine, like there's like holes in the sand under the water. So if you put your foot in one, you're gonna get stuck and drown. That is fucking horrendous. That's probably the worst way I can think to die. One of the worst.
Yeah, the sea and water is just terrifying. Even just the way obviously it moves and flows, but the fact that around us anyway, I mean, I know you can in like the Med and stuff, but you can't see the bottom. You don't know how deep it is. The currents, there's like not just currents on the surface, there's underwater currents that if you are swimming or if you try to stand, they can take your ankles away from you and that. Nah. Do you know what? This conversation is why humans evolved on land. Because we were in the water and we were like,
Fuck
this.
that. Fuck it. Yeah.
No, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I don't have enough robes for this, and we just got ourselves out of the water.
No, they got out of the water because they were sick of the people talking about how they swim all the time.
That's
They had to
it,
get away
yeah.
from them. They were like, I'm growing legs. I'm breathing air. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the people in the water were just like, oh, it's such a thrill. It's such a buzz. I'm finding myself closer to God. It's like the only thing you find yourself closer to is fucking dysentery, right? Get out of the water and go for a walk.
Yeah, that's it. And like on a hot day or a really hot day or in a nice country like Spain or Greece or something, swimming in the sea, grand. I get it. It's relaxing and refreshing and it's nice and pleasant and warm. Ireland, what the fuck? Mental.
What the fuck?
Benjamin Mendy to the Irish Sea. Things you'd love to see.
Nice.
Only on the PUPcast.
Yeah.
We're gonna be watching the AFCON as well, right? So that we're not racist. Yeah.
Oh well, what channel is it on?
Half the time I don't even watch Arsenal, so I don't think.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Ian Wright's comments were questionable, to say that it's it's being disrespected. It's like you put on an international tournament in the middle of everyone else's season, and they're gonna stick two fingers up at you. It's nothing to do with anything else. It's just an inconvenience for literally clubs that pay people hundreds of thousands of pounds a week.
But do they put it on at this time because of the heat?
Sure,
No.
there are parts of Africa which are not hot in the middle of summer.
Yeah, it's not. They're not playing the tournament in the Sahara every 2 years.
Well, I'm just asking because that's why they're doing the Qatar thing, isn't it? Because of the heat. So I can only imagine that's why they're doing it. I mean, a lot of Africa is very hot.
Yeah, but
That-
you think
that is-
in you think in 2021 though we would have evolved stadiums and facilities for it to not matter. Like if you can put a roof on a stadium to keep rain out, surely you can put a roof on a stadium to keep it cool.
Maybe, but I don't know what the facilities in Africa are like. So
Sure, what about the southern hemisphere parts of Africa, like fucking South Africa, where it's summer now? It's summer in December, and it's winter in the middle of summer. Sure, great time for tournament, but I guess they want to spread it around.
you've given me a lot to think about with that one. Yeah. I don't know. I do think it must be annoying. Like, if you really want to play and win that tournament, and people are like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Mane is going to be gone for like 4 weeks." For Christ's sake, it must be annoying. But I don't know. I don't really see a way around it. Like, if it is a heat thing, then I understand it. If I'm just being stupid, then yeah, why don't they just fucking do it in the summer like everyone else? Why don't they like? Actually, yeah, because the South African one is never a problem. That's played like the same time as the Euros, is it?
Yeah, the South African World Cup in
South American
2010 was.
Sorry, the South American championships. That's what I'm on.
Yeah. Yeah, and the 2010 World Cup wasn't rearranged because of
Yeah.
heat.
Yes, they should really just do all the continental competitions on like the same summer. That would solve a lot.
Yeah.
God, why aren't we just running FIFA? Fucking hell.
World Cup every year.
Arsene Wenger, director of PUPcast.
Someone can be
default.
like the summer World Cup champions, and someone can be the winter World Cup champions.
Yeah, what
Split
is
it
he
like the
thinking?
Olympics.
He's a smart guy, right? What the fuck is he thinking with these suggestions?
I don't know.
Has he lost it? He's probably lost it.
Maybe
That's fair.
he never had it.
maybe he's only seeing clarity now. Yeah, he's just got outside. I mean, there was a lot of funny things towards these last few years in Arsenal.
This is it. It's like people are just kind of seeing a little bit of what it's like being an Arsenal fan during the last few years of his reign, where it's like everyone loves Wenger and everyone's like, this guy's smart, he's great. And then he has some ideas and you're just like, oh, what are you doing? What are you talking about? Like, where did this come from? Why are you saying this?
I do like him though.
Exactly.
Yeah,
he's
it's like
very
hating
likable.
it's like hating your granddad, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I know.
That cunt.
Yeah,
We have
Yeah.
10 minutes left here.
cool. But I think this was a nice little return to the podcast.
We'll catch
Good
up.
start for 2022. Yeah, covered a lot of
Yeah.
ground.
There's not much
Ground.
football on at the minute, which I guess is why we didn't talk about much football.
Well, there's
No.
FA Cup on.
There's a
No.
honestly, I know the FA Cup is a bit meh, but there's a fucking huge game tomorrow lunchtime, and I'm for it. I'm so hyped for it.
Which one?
Palace Millwall. We've not
Oh,
played
yeah.
in 9 years.
Wow,
It's a
yeah.
big game.
Sounds good.
Big game.
Very good.
Hopefully we stuff them with
Yeah,
our under 23s. That would be fantastic.
I'm sure you will.
the ideal.
By the time you
Yeah.
re-listen to this, you'll know.
Yeah. Next podcast, I'll be complaining about how bad that game was and how that tiny little tin pot club has another one over on us, despite having nothing to their existence apart from like bald-headed taxi and truck driver looking England flag tattoo fan base.
There you go.
End.
That's the PUPcast.
See you next year.
Yeah. All the best.
You've been listening to the Put 'em Under Pressure podcast. For more of our content, make sure that you follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Outro music.